Hi everybody, welcome to my channel, School of Scarlet. I'm so happy to have you here today. Today we're going to be talking about the savage masculine energy. So today is going to be all about the masculine. So stay tuned with me to the very end to hear about all of the different ways that the masculine contains the savage energy. Now this video isn't just for men or people that are more gravitating towards the masculine. This video is for everybody because we all contain both of these energies, and we really all need this energy of the savage masculine within us. This is the energy that really kind of gets us places. Is that protective energy? Is that go-getter, that assertive energy that is really asserting itself into this world. So if you want to achieve anything in this world, you're going to need to have this savage energy. So stay tuned with me to hear of all of the ways that the masculine savage energy is shown here on our reality. So to start, the masculine savage energy is something that arises out of almost a basic need that happens naturally. It's kind of an energy that happens out of necessity, I guess you could say. When a person gets down to hardly no other options, not really having anybody there for them, kind of that rock bottom thing that we talk about, kind of that dark night of the soul, we find that there's just no one there for us. We really get to that point of looking and finding out that we've really made a huge mess and it's just us here to do this. And so it's kind of this introspection stage of really taking this kind of personal responsibility for oneself. So the first part of being savage is taking personal responsibility. Now, I know a lot of you probably don't want to hear this, especially those that are shying away from the self. But there's a lot that comes along with this, and if you just stick with me, you'll see that this is all connecting to what I'm talking about here. The savage energy that really brings us to this state that's kind of dropped down on our knees is the same energy that provokes an awakening, provokes enlightenment, provokes a change, a shift within a person. So it's that same energy. And this is where the masculine gains that power or that energy surge that really propels it to inject itself into this world. How does it do this? It does it through absolute despair and desperation. It has no other choice than to get back up from the very depths of its deep down soul. It has no other recourse other than to get up. And it's gone down so low that if it gets up, and it will, it would have basically overcome this world. It's what it feels like for the masculine. So to really go down deep into this level of despair is not actually a bad thing. We think that having these horrible things happen to us throughout life is just really bad. It should never happen to us. Some people feel victimized by it. I really want to kind of flip that script for you and let you know that it's actually a superpower to have gone through whatever it is that you've gone through. It's made you stronger. It's expanded your container for life, for growth, for expansion. So this is actually a gift if you've been through this. If you haven't had much of this, then you won't see much growth. So you know what I'm talking about here. And for those of us that have been through, these dark, deep levels of humanity, we know the expansion, we know the growth and the level of love that kind of creeps back, gets in there into all this space now and really expands into more. So the masculine really gains its strength from the depths of its despair. When it realizes that it is really kind of like this lone wolf. It has no one to help it. It has no one that's really there for it. It really finds out that there is no one. It's kind of that whole thing that I'm talking about of really pointing yourself back to yourself constantly throughout life. You're not going to find relief, excitement, love, anything really in a relationship, in job, in cars, in money, and all of these different things. They're not going to bring you what you're looking for. It's not going to quench that thirst, as you would say. The only thing that can truly do that is what you truly are, yourself, and knowing thyself. So it's going to turn you back inwards and really leave you in this space that, hey, you're the only one that can do this. And so that brings a level of power, a level of strength, a level of personal responsibility that now this person carries. So where this person could opt to feel broken, defeated, and go into victimhood, the savage masculine does the opposite, turns it inwards and sees that it is the only thing here, and it is the only thing that is ever going to protect it, love it, do anything for it. So it has to do it. Takes personal responsibility at this point, and that is where it gains a lot of its energy and power and strength. So remember, the first one is the savage masculine takes personal responsibility for themselves. And this means that not only do they take personal responsibility for their actions and the things that happen in life, but they take personal responsibility within their finances. They make it a point to figure out how to be financially independent for themselves, because they know that no one else is going to do this for them. And or if they allow someone else, then that person or that thing is going to take away it's going to leverage or take away something from it, some sort of freedom. So the ultimate way to be a savage masculine is to be completely free, and that includes in your finances. Okay, and so this includes not just your finances, but it also includes a lot of different areas of your life, your health. If you're tied up in a lot of different health issues, whether that's physical or mental health, then there's not going to be a whole lot of there's not going to be a whole lot of growth, a whole lot of expansion there if you're tied up with all of these survival aspects. So the masculine, the savage masculine, takes responsibility even for the physical. He works out, he exercises, he pushes himself despite not wanting to do it, despite whatever blockages come up through the brain. It knows through its heart what is good for it, what it's trying to express. So it follows its heart rather than its brain. Its brain says, no, you don't need to work out. It's okay. Just everybody will accept you. It could be the other way around too. I mean, it could be the heart speaking or the brain speaking and saying these things. So you really have to discern within your own self. For the most part, the masculine, if you are more of the masculine energy, you are going to be building up strength. That's just something that kind of goes hand in hand. And so you'll see that. And so you're going to have to go into those places where you're going to have to be disciplined rather than, the other side of it, which is more procrastinating in all of this. The savage masculine is a go-getter, has deadlines, has goals, dates, it's set times and things like that it has set certain expectations for. So you have to recognize these are different energies. It's not to say that this energy of procrastination is bad or worse, or that this energy of goal-oriented mindset is better. Nothing like that. We're just trying to describe here the savage masculine energy and some of that we can tap into. While we can still be kind of easygoing, we can also tap into our savage. This is about owning all aspects of reality and all aspects of ourselves. That way we can tap into and have that when we need it. This is all about empowering you, so stick with me here. So I've written down a list here to kind of go down some of these aspects of the savage masculine. And so we've kind of tapped into the first one of talking about being this self-responsibility that arises out of really realizing that we are literally the only ones. No one's going to save us. There is no one outside of us. There is nothing out there that can quench this thirst. We now have been turned inward. Okay, so that's the first one. And so the second thing about being a savage masculine, whether you're female or male, just having that energy of that savage masculine is to ignore opinions. Because the world is going to give you all of its opinions, and it's going to start off with your family, then your friends, then maybe school and your workplace and all of this and that. And then whatever you buy into, whatever you watch on TV, whatever you read in the magazines, in your books, whatever you happen to read, all of these things are going to bombard you with opinions, with different aspects of other people's realities, what they've experienced. So even when I'm sharing my reality with y'all, or I've written something in my books, that's really my experience, and I'm a unique expression within, the collective. We are all still one, but it's a very unique expression. So what I express would be different than what you express. And sometimes if we believe other people's opinion to be truth, that what that person's saying and that's the way it has to happen is the only way it's supposed to happen, then we're going to get tripped up in a lot of misunderstandings about life, because life isn't linear. Life isn't black and white. It isn't just one way. It twists, turns, and when you least expect something, it turns out to be a whole nother way. It's very surprising. And I used to be the kind of person that really believed life was black and white. And so I really stuck by that and really tried to learn life and know what it was, only to find out right and left that that was not the case. Life is not that way. And when you believe it to be that way, a lot of times if life wants to show you different, it will. And it's very shocking. And so when you've been shocked enough, you finally surrender. And that's what happened to me. You surrender into the fact that no one has any answers outside of you. No one has those answers. So whatever opinions are giving or whatever they're saying is going to be this way, or, oh no, that's not going to work, or it's going to happen this way, or I'm certain this. There's no certainty in anything. The only thing that's certain is your own heart and following that. I would put more trust in that than in anything in this life. So basically, all of this is to say that when we basically follow other people's opinions, other people's reality, that's exactly what we're doing. We're buying into, or we're getting involved in their reality. You see, you have your own reality and you make the rules within your own reality. And when you say goes. And so what they're saying in their reality does not have to be that in your reality. So you can, as a savage masculine, put up your barriers, your boundaries, and say, no, I'm not going to accept those opinions. And you can simply just ignore them, or you can flat out, just say that you don't agree with that if you'd like. You can do it however you want. But the savage masculine energy ignores opinions. The savage masculine energy is an energy that consults with itself. It doesn't go outside of itself to gain answers. It seeks within. It's found out to introspect is the best way to seek out answers, especially answers that are very profound about this universe. So it ignores opinions. Now, the third aspect of the savage masculine is emotional control. Now, emotional control is something that we can equate, and we've heard many times, as emotional intelligence, emotional mastery, things like that. What does that mean? That means that we have some understanding of our emotions. The majority of people, the majority of everybody, even masculine or feminine, are ignoring their emotions. They are deflecting from them, they're distracting from them. And we can see this play out in people that are addicted to video games, addicted to alcohol, addicted to marijuana, addicted to pornography, addicted to, you name it, food. There's so many things, shopping, online shopping, all of these things. So all of these things are actually distractions. If anybody is addicted to these things, it's because they're choosing that, because it's releasing dopamine. It's doing something for them that dealing with their emotions is not. So they're really gravitating to something in a very unhealthy way. So this begins to manifest in itself a way that we can't really get anywhere. If you're distracted with addictions, how are you as a savage masculine going to get anywhere? How are you going to assert yourself? How are you going to be successful? How are you going to even be independent or financially responsible for yourself, like we talked about, if you can't even have the emotional mastery of controlling your emotions enough to steer away from addictions and whatnot? Now, this isn't to judge anyone or anything like that. It's to shed light and bring truth to a situation that many people are in. Many people are in these loops that they're basically opting out for these other kind of lifestyles that are very limiting, very, very limiting. They appear to be fun. They appear to be, good and all this and that, but they're very limiting. And in the end, they really suck the life out of you. So we're going to kind of turn this around, and we're getting back into our masculine energy, which is an energy that, like I say, takes a lot of self-responsibility through the process. And through emotional mastery, or having emotional intelligence, is one of those aspects that the savage masculine has. This is something that the feminine really struggles with. The feminine is very much in her emotions. She goes into her emotions. She feels her emotions. She does a lot of this, and sometimes goes much into it that she unravels into her emotions, and they can spill out. So the difference is that the savage masculine is okay with his emotions. He's okay to feel them. He's not scared of them, but he has control of them, where the feminine kind of unravels with them. She can go and cry for a long time. She'll go outside and scream. She might have a fight with someone. You can see it play out in a release that's almost visual. You can see it almost playing out in a theatrical way, where the savage masculine feels his emotions, isn't scared of them, but is able to process them in a way that it's not exactly blocking them, but they basically disappear. They're seen through is what's happening. I kind of equate it to a non-dual version of seeing things. It's just literally seeing through it as an illusion at some point, and it drops. There's no more of that unraveling you would see with the feminine. So the savage masculine has that emotional control. He's, like I say, a pillar. He's there. He's not going to be shaken or moved by emotions and things. He sees through them. He sees that they happen, just like the thought streams, but they mean nothing about the truth of reality or what that masculine truly is. Okay. So now let's move on to the next aspect of the savage masculine. So the next aspect would be to become monstrous. Now, I talked about in my last video, I made a video about the savage energy. So if you haven't watched that, tune into that one below. I've linked it in the comments. But I kind of feel like a lot of times people are trying to get rid of the monster within them, meaning they feel like there is an aspect or side of them that shouldn't be released, you know. So they're maybe a person that's pretty wound up or pretty angry, or maybe has a lot of energy, and they try to repress that. And, you know, or maybe they have a lot of sexual energy or whatever it happens to be, and they try to repress it. And where they think it's a bad thing, it's actually a good thing. It's actually a superpower that they have. And so a lot of times this is even seen, I've even seen this in counseling, working with people with mental health issues. Some of their issues are actually not issues. They're actually things that are propelling them to have a different experience, like I'm talking about. And so if we can really get to know the monster within and where it originated and what's happening with it, we actually find out that the monster within is our friend. And without the monster within, we wouldn't be or have expanded to who we are today. So we embrace that monster within. And so the masculine, the savage masculine, knows this. He's been through this dark stage. This is the dark stage. And so when you go through this dark stage of basically not loving yourself, you kind of start loving that darkness. You go into the space of loving darkness and loving death, loving this really dark space. And when you can do that, that's when a big kind of change happens, and you embrace that monster within, and that monster within is now working with you rather than against you. You know, before, you're trying to kill off that monster. You're mad at that monster. You're just, you know, why am I doing this? I'm so tired of myself. Why is this happening? How can I stop myself from this and that? And so that you're fighting with that aspect, that monster aspect of yourself. What happens with the savage masculine is he turns it around, and he loves that aspect. He says, I see you. I'm so dark. I'm just going to love this darkness. And he gets into that darkness. He listens to that sad music. He screams, he yells, he punches, he gets angry. He goes into this dark, dark phase, and he feels all of these things. And he sees, this isn't so bad. This is helping me expand. This is helping me grow. This is helping me see the things that I have accepted that I'm not okay with anymore. And so I'm going to leave some of those things now, and I'm going to reemerge in a newer, grander way that's more aligned with who I am. And so every death and rebirth cycle is a beautiful thing for the savage masculine. The savage masculine throughout his life constantly goes through cycles of death and rebirth, death and rebirth. And it's painful and it hurts and he's fighting and it's not easy. But through each death and rebirth, he reemerges into that phoenix and he's more and more expanded into reality. So it's a quite beautiful thing. And the same thing happens within the feminine. It's just a different aspect of it. And so we all contain those energies and we're all doing that. Essentially, we're all doing this. And so, so basically that is what we're doing when we're kind of connecting with that monster within. We're integrating all aspects of ourselves. So I talk a lot about in my videos about not judging yourself, of really loving all aspects of yourselves within and also all those aspects of reality without. Maybe like you didn't like that other political party or you didn't like this or that. It's kind of seeing and understanding all parts. Because it's very easy to say, I don't like this, or I judge you, or I, don't think that this is right. It's much harder to really understand something. That takes a lot of intellect, a lot of emotional intelligence even to be able to understand someone else's side, to be able to truly walk in somebody else's shoes. That takes a lot of intelligence within your brain and emotional intelligence within your heart and having that connection. So people generally take the easy way out of just judging, of doing all of this, but in doing that, we're also doing that to ourselves. So we have to kind of drop that. And so that's what the savage masculine does. It kind of gets into this monstrous kind of attacking energy of, I'm going to go after this and I don't care. So that's what that is. And so that's part of it. And so the other part about it is leaving the comfort zone. So the savage masculine will leave its comfort zone. It'll go outside of whatever is comfortable for it. Most people, like I say, want to stay in their comfort zone. They don't want to see anything different. But the savage masculine knows that a little bit past that fear, on the other side of fear, is something great, something amazing. So he's done that once or twice in life and he's learned. So the savage masculine energy is ready to go after something. And when he hits fear, he goes past it because he knows that, yes, there'll be a little bit of fear, a little bit of pain, but past that is amazing. And many people don't go past that. Many people stay on the other side of fear, they don't even get into fear. They don't even go there. As soon as they sense fear, they coil into a ball like a snake, and they coil in and they can't do this. They don't have that savage masculine energy. So really, to have a full experience in life, we really have to accept all aspects, the dark, the dirty, the evil, the fearful, all of that. We have to go through that in order to experience all of the beauty, and those are actual aspects of reality that can be awakened to you. There's actually awakenings to beauty, to seeing literally. Now you see when you walk outside, literally things shining, being beautiful, being alive, speaking to you. Those are things that can be unlocked by you moving through those doors. And those doors, I'm just talking about fear. I'm talking about something as simple as fear. So that's what the savage masculine does. He harnesses all his energy from all of the strength he's endured, from all of the suffering and the things he's been through, to build strength even within our bodies, muscles. And people that are bodybuilders, you have to rip and tear your muscles in order to rebuild them so that they rebuild in a thicker, stronger way. That's how bodybuilders do that. They don't just happen from just allowing everything. There is different aspects to everything. While it is beautiful to allow, to just be in the flow, there's also that masculine savage energy. So you have to kind of discern with your character what energy you need when. But you need to know thyself and know that you have all aspects of this and you're able to harness it and use it. So many people are scared to death to harness or even ever use the savage energy. They never speak up. They never go for the things that they want. So if you're fearful of the savage energy, you can know that not only are you in resistance to life, but you're in fear. So when you're in fear, you're very separate from being in beauty, being in heaven, being in love. So we want to move you more towards that. That's what we want to do. So this is all a process that naturally unfolds. But some people harness more savage energy than others. And I'm kind of making these videos just to remind y'all that the savage energy is still very important, because many people let go of this energy and then get pushed around or, get taken advantage of. Of course, anything that's going to happen is all fine and perfect. But when we are conscious, we are working with all pieces. We are really in that creator mode. We literally have access to everything. But when we're unconscious to those aspects that we're fearing, and we're unconscious to those aspects that we're not addressing, or we're deflecting or distracting from, then that's when people and situations come in that manipulate and distort our reality, because we're completely unconscious to it. So this is all about knowing thyself, becoming conscious in all aspects of reality. That's all it is. It's not about judgment. It's not about this is right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. We're past that now. So now we're just moving on to what's going on here, right? What do we want to play with? What energies do we want to use and have and play with? So let's move on to the next aspect. The next thing I wrote is speaking their truth. The savage masculine speaks his or her truth at all times. They're not someone that people pleases, that sugarcoats, that changes things up. They're the kind of person that it might sting a little bit, but you know what? You still know that they love you. You still know that they care. You still know that they had to say that because it was the truth. And at the end of the day, you know that it was the truth, so you can't be mad. It's that kind of energy. So the savage masculine contains that energy of being able to really snap you with the truth and it not really hurt or leave an imprint on you. It shows you something about them. It almost wants you or shows you how you can do the same in your life. It inspires you. Their truth inspires you to show your truth. That's how that works. So it's a very beautiful thing. Those are just some of the points that I wrote down. I could go on and on about some different things, and there's just so much with the savage masculine energy, really. This energy is an energy, like I say, I would just call it like a fearless energy. It's not fearing anything. It's completely fearless. And it knows that. And it sees through everything. It sees through everything. So there's not a game that you can play to overcome it or do something to it. It sees through everything. And it knows itself. It knows thyself. It knows itself. It knows even whatever values it's decided to adopt or whatever expression it's expressing. It knows that, and it's injecting that into every aspect of its reality. It's created its own reality. It's its own architect of its own reality. It's not allowing the outside world to dictate its world. It's not allowing the outside opinions of the world to create the reality for it. It's not looking to the news. It's not looking to its family. It's not looking to its wife or its kids or to its teachers or to movies or video games or anything else to tell it what it needs for itself. It knows deep down what it needs for itself, and it goes after it like it depends on it. So that's the savage masculine energy. So I've created a course around this because I feel like it's a very needed energy. And this energy, this course and energy all kind of complements itself. I have the unconditional course, which I still have available. It's going to be a staple course that's always going to be around. And now I have added the unconditionally savage course. The unconditionally savage course contains everything the unconditional course contains with a hit of savage. So, you know, if you are interested in this, if you're interested in really reorienting to your heart and also containing and having that savage energy that I'm talking about, then you need to sign up for this course. This course is just getting started. We're energized. The people that have already signed up are so excited. We are already in planning of this. And so this is a container. This isn't just a course. You get coaching and you get personalized care throughout the course of your time in the course. So if you're interested in that, I have a great deal going on right now. You just have to enter the coupon code SAVAGE into the coupon code bar, and you will get a discount on the Unconditionally Savage course. This course is a really robust course. Like I said, it's more of a coaching container. So go ahead and sign up now. Now is the time. Don't let fear change your mind. Jump on this. Nothing is more important than you. I had someone the other day tell me that they were going to wait on purchasing something because they were wanting to buy a TV for Black Friday. And while I understand that, you have to see all aspects of what's happening here. We do this, and I know because I've done this. I go ahead and instead of putting myself first or doing the course or even something as simple as like getting my nails done or taking some time for myself, I put others first. I go get that TV. I go do that thing. I spend the time and do this and that instead of this. And I think, you know, I'm going to do that, but then, you know, next month or next week, I'll do that thing for myself. And it never happens. So put yourself first now. All there really is you. So you cannot go wrong with this. Go ahead and follow your heart. Do what you need to do for yourself. All of this energy that we feel all around us, all of that, all of this, even the anxiety, everything that's happening in this world, believe it or not, all of that energy is yours, and you can transmute it, you can transform it, and you can move it to be totally used by you. It's all you. So if you're wanting to learn more about that and reorient to your heart and really transmute fear and move past that, go ahead and sign up now. I want you to get with that savage energy because you know you got it. So thank you so much for watching. I love you all.